I'm not going to show you everything in this pile, but like here's a broken cant. Here's another broken cant. Shovel head. Just all sorts of crazy. Oh, look at this. Here is a guys and gals, friends and pals, welcome to another magnet mission. It's been quite a while. As many of you know, some of you don't, but I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I'm not going to talk about this every time for future magnet missions, but it's still kind of a transition period. I haven't done a video in a very long time. I haven't been magnet fishing in about a year. But anyhow, whatever. I had surgery back in June of last year, and they think they got all the cancer. My 6-month follow-up CT didn't show any cancer. Pancreatic cancer has a very high resurgence rate, so it may come back at some point, but it ain't here yet. I am, and you are. So welcome to this magnet mission. What I'm doing here is I'm actually going to the scrapyard and get rid of a bunch of stuff that's been sitting in my yard forever. Some of you may cringe because some of this stuff is actually pretty old, but I don't think there's anything of extreme historical value other than it would be neat conversation pieces. And I'll kind of show you some of that stuff once I get started on the pile. Two of the coolest things are one of my favorite finds, which are anchor bolts. And then the massive pile of chains I had. I couldn't believe it had actually been grown over by grass, but got a big old pile of chains that I'll show you in a minute. But first, I want to show you some of my favorite stuff that I am keeping and I'm still going to sort through. And they're right over here on this thing. So let's take a look at that. So here's my pile of assorted, pretty interesting goods. Here's a couple of caps that they have writing on them. They're like water caps. Yeah, that's a water cap, see? But I think these might be older. I got to check out what that actually says. Clean it up, check out what it says. Here's just a big old honking square-headed bolt. Look at the size of that thing. So I just want to clean that up. You may have heard of a logging tool called a cant. So you can see that the wooden staff broke off of this, but this is an intact piece of an old logging tool. This is a hinge right here, so that part there moves and grasps the log once you stick this in there, and it helps you maneuver the log. I have no idea what this is, but I found a pair of them out at Lake Sacagawea. So if anybody can tell me what the heck these things are, that would be really interesting to know. Some assorted little pocket knives that are about as rusty as when I found them. This cool little tool. This actually had a handle on it as well. Found that out at Milton Creek. Here is what's left of an oil drum nozzle. So you see the ends broken off there. My son Orion actually found this, but let's see if you can see what it says there. W.R. Stampine or something, Syracuse, New York. So anybody knows how old that is? That's pretty cool. One of my favorite finds, double-sided axe head, and then here's a smaller hatchet head. Look at this old, I don't know if this is a rake or a pitchfork or what the heck this is supposed to be, but the end of it, so it's sat like that on the handle. Maybe for moving hay, I don't know. Let's see. Another big honking nut there. Crescent wrench. Oh, there's another log eye. Got a bunch of these, and so Shannon Robinson, at some point, I will get you another one, because I sent you one, but I think the one I sent you was one of these stamped ones, and I got a whole pile of these stamped ones. These are newer. Now here, if you look at these older ones, you can see that crease there. This was actually one piece of metal that got folded over. And what I found out is here in Oregon during the logging days, blacksmiths would be on site at the camps and put these together. This one's coming apart. So you could see that that was one piece of metal that was actually folded over. And I got a couple of those here. Look, here's an old one, big honking one right there. See the crease? One big piece of metal. Anyhow, it looks like a giant butter knife. I have no idea what this is. If anybody knows, that'd be great. But it's got a distinct metal handle here, and then this kind of flat blade. And you can see in comparison to my hand, it's actually about 2 feet long. Got a sorted, oh, this is the decorative top off of a pillar that I found down by the Willamette River by the waterfront. So I think at some point they must have had all the pillars topped with those, and I happened to find one. Cannonball! Just kidding, this is a horn. And I think this had a name on it somewhere too. Yeah, there. Sorry guys, I'm wasting your time. It's too blurry, you can't see it, but it's on the edge by my finger there. But anyway, cool old car horn. Orion found that. Found this at the waterfront. Look at this. This is a big old, like, plumber's wrench. This thing is almost, I'd say about 2.5 feet long. Can't fully read it yet, but I plan to clean this up at some point. And you can see it was light blue, so that's kind of interesting. What else we got here? Oh yeah, look at this. Always wondered about this. I found this guy a long time ago. Is that a piece of buckshot, or just a ball bearing? Here's an old iron I found out at the St. Helens Marina. Assorted spikes, little ball peen hammerhead, old crushed skate. Look at this thing. So, you know, these were the type that strapped onto your shoes. They're all metal, even the wheels are metal, so no idea how old that is. This is a, oh, what is this called? This is a chain cinch or something like that. Chain tensioner for, you put a chain between each of those hooks and then clamp it down. Here's a cool turnbuckle with a hook on one end I found. This is actually still useful. And then just assorted interesting looking stuff like this guy. No idea what that is, but it's kind of cool. Anyhow, that's kind of it for my real interesting stuff. Let's put that back there. So, oh, there's a big giant anchor that Orion actually clicked onto it, but I had to help him get it out of the water. Then I have a bunch of assorted stuff, different bent nails. I mean, some cool old ones, I'm sure. Old tools that I could probably salvage, but I can't tell you how many pliers I have already. There's a gear from, I don't know, I'm guessing the old woodworking days. Look, here's a, I don't know if anybody remembers me finding this. I think it's a tabletop. Neat little stand there that may be an umbrella. Yeah, a glass top with a hole and an umbrella went through there, and then this held the tabletop, perhaps. Look, here's an old, I don't know if this is a wheel off of a toy or if it was like a pulley wheel. Pretty cool. Here's another turnbuckle with hooks on each end. That's pretty cool. Some of the stuff you got to be going, Rich, what are you thinking getting rid of it? I know. There's an old road closed sign. There's half of it. Let me show you these guys here. Look at this. Not sure what this was. It's got a little grabby pointed end there, curved end, and then a handle here. Here's a, oh, this one's kind of cool, whatever it is. I don't know, but it's turned perfectly. Some kind of wedge. I'm sure you guys have seen these window weights. These they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Here's some kind of hinge clamp. Here's another big honking bolt. That's actually a nut on the end of a broken off bolt, believe it or not. So, yeah, imagine how big that bolt was. Here's one of my favorites also. That is a big boat cleat compared to my hand. I got that out of the St. Helens Marina. And all the boat cleats they have on there now are about this wide, not that wide. And then, yeah, here's my anchor bolt collection. So, varying sizes. Look, they start to get bigger. Wait, let's get a better look at that one. Get the grass off of there. Better look at that one. But here's the big prize. Look at that. I pulled that out of the waterfront down off of the Willamette River by downtown Portland also. Here's some chain that goes over there. I'm not going to show you everything in this pile, but like here's a broken cant. Here's another broken cant. Shovel head. Just all sorts of crazy. Oh, look at this. Here is a this is an old anchor. Check this guy out. And actually, I found a couple of those. There's another homemade anchor, I believe. It's just very heavy. This weighs probably about 40, 45 pounds. Here's another. That's a solid chunk of steel right there. And you can see the hook at the top. This, I believe, was somebody used as an anchor. It's probably homemade. Here's actually a manufactured mushroom anchor. This only weighs about 15 pounds. But, yeah, and then my big pile of chains. So anyhow, I'm going to clear this stuff up. I'm going to do the chains last and show this to you because it's just crazy. So the next thing you'll see is this all cleared up and me showing you that whole pile of chains. Okay, so we got the chain pile. Everything else is in here. It's a lot. I was surprised how much chain it is. So you guys might be underwhelmed because you're not living over here. But to me, it was just like, man, that's a lot of chain. So here we go. Check this out. And some of it's off of really old stuff. But think about magnet fishing and you pull this up. That's an awesome find, right? And then we got smaller sections like this. Older stuff like this. Look how this was once really thick chain. Look how thin it is right there. How long that must have been underwater. Now I got a chain fall here that actually has a good length of chain on it to begin with. But look at this. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to untangle it, but you get the picture there. That's too bad it's so rusty because that's a nice section of chain there, huh? And you know what they say? Chain is inevitable. This is actually, you might recognize this here from my very first magnet mission. Yeah, this was one of my very first finds with the 360 magnet. And this here is a logging tool. So what happens is the chain goes around the log, and then this guy feeds through here, locks in like that. So I don't know how old that is, but it's going to the scrapyard. Actually, none of this is going to, well, it's eventually going to the scrapyard, but there's a place called Restore. They recycle stuff, and it's also Habitat for Humanity, but they accept scrap metal. So rather than take this to the scrapyard myself and put the bucks in my pocket, I'm just taking the scrap metal to them so they can take it to the scrapyard and make a few bucks for Habitat for Humanity. So that's cool. Here's another sassy length of chain. You thought I was kidding, huh? There's more. Let's see what this guy's up to. So here's the chain fall, all tangled up, and it's rusty and useless. It's beyond repair. Unfortunately, it would be nice if that was in better shape. No idea what this is. Maybe you know. But it looks like it was homemade by a construction crew. Anyways, a big piece of angle iron cut out in an L shape and then attached to a chain. More chain. Oh yeah, here's another with a big loop on the end, but the little locking part is missing. Big hunk of chain there. And like I said, if you magnet fish, all of these sections of chains were finds that came up on my magnet. And you know how it is. You're going, what the heck is that? And bam, you get a big old chunk of chain there. Here's one with a lock on the end, so you know something nefarious happened there. A little baby one. More, and more. More. Crazy. And you know what's funny? There's a couple of pieces I found out that my son took. This has a big burly lock that's still locked. So someone took something that was not wanting to go. The owner didn't want it to go anywhere. All right. Oh, and here's another, ironically, a chain cinch. And this one's broken. The other hook is missing off of there, but that's all going to the scrapyard. Oh, here's an interesting piece to finish this magnet mission with. Anybody recognize this? Know what this might be? Here's one side and then the other. Looks like a car part to me. Anyhow, I'm gonna get this stuff loaded and get going. So I think that's it. I won't bore you with me unloading the same stuff you've just seen. So thanks so much, and we'll catch you on the next magnet mission.